Good morning. That was a little weak. This is an exciting time. Let's do it one more time, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm with you now. I'm Desmond Till, the battalion chief here in the great city. I'll be your master of ceremonies as we celebrate the graduation class of 34. Shortly, the members of Class 34 will make their entrance, led by the Jamestown Pipes and Drums. Following their procession, the Fire Department Honor Guard will present our national colors, accompanied by the singing of the national anthem by Florette Gregory Phillips, a dedicated officer with the Winston-Salem Police Department. We kindly ask that you place your right hand over your heart when the command to present arms is given, and to keep it in place until the command to order arms is issued. Please rise.
Class 34, ready, face. Honor guard, oh, word, hold.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, hold.
Thank you. You may be seated. Now I would like to invite the Fire Department Chaplain, Constantine Shepard, to deliver our invocation this morning.
Good morning. Let us pray to the Lord. Heavenly King, Comforter, Spirit of truth, present in all places and filling all things, we ask your blessings for all our firefighters, especially to those in Recruit Class 34. We also ask your blessings on their families, their loved ones, and friends who support them and make it possible for them to serve. We ask your blessings on all our civic leaders and all those in attendance here today. Lord, we ask you to lead, guide, and direct them. Keep them safe, honorable, and healthy as they begin their service to this city and to all of those that they may be called on to serve. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Shepard. Our city is guided by a council of 8 members, led by Mayor Alan Joines. Mayor Alan Joines began his service in 1971. He retired as deputy city manager in 2000. He was elected as the mayor in 2001. He's in his 6th term, and as of Tuesday, 7th time. He is the longest serving city manager in the city history. He has been serving the great citizens of this wonderful city for over 53 years. Please welcome Mayor Alan Joines.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And all those times as doing duties as the mayor of Winston-Salem, this is one of my special times here as we get to welcome a new cadre of firefighters to our city, individuals who have decided to step up and put their lives on the line for the citizens of Winston-Salem. For public safety, it's one of the key responsibilities of city government here. I'm always get turned on so much when you hear the bagpipes and our color guard that looks so good and official there. But unfortunately today, we see more and more individuals kind of shying away from public service, going the other way, if you will. I'm reminded of the scenes from 9/11 when we saw hundreds and thousands of individuals running away from the World Trade Centers. But then on the other hand, we saw first responders, firefighters running into those buildings. And that's what these firefighters will do. They will run into a burning building or run into a car accident and make things happen. I want to thank you for your courage and your willing to put your lives on the line again, as well as to congratulate you on your resilience and perseverance to get you here today. I suspect there were some times along the past several weeks when you may have thought, what have I gotten myself into, perhaps? Or am I ever going to pass this EMT exam? Well, the answer to that is yes, you did, and you did well. You learned a lot. You gained a lot of professional experience going forward there. And you joined a very noble profession, a profession that goes all the way back to the Roman Empire, as they had their own little fire service there. And the brave men and women in the fire service across the country make our country what it is today. And Winston Churchill, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain, said during World War II that courage is the first and greatest of all human qualities, because having courage guarantees all other qualities can flourish. So I want to also acknowledge this morning the support of your family and friends that are here today. I'm sure their encouragement during the training period is part of the foundation on which you're building your dreams. And their support will continue to be important going forward. So family and friends, I urge you to continue to be behind these individuals as they move through their career. I encourage you to stay ready, because if you stay ready, you won't have to get ready, right? You may have heard that. Keep yourself fit, take advantage of all the training and educational opportunities that are afforded to you, and never stop learning. You know, my role as mayor, and I'm members of our city council who are up here tonight, and we have another city council member, Jeff McIntosh, who's in the audience there. You know, our primary function in terms of the fire service, the police, whatever, is to make sure that we're giving you all the tools, equipment, training, and money that you need to do a good job for the city of Winston-Salem. And as I said, make sure you're paid appropriately, and I think we're about there. So once again, I salute you on this tremendous achievement and accomplishment, and then once again, to personally thank you and to thank you on behalf of the 254,000 citizens of Winston-Salem for your willingness to step into this line of work and to this position that you're joining today. So I wish you the best, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Mayor Joins. The Public Safety Committee oversees fire, police, and emergency services. We will have Council Member Annette Scipio, East Ward, come and share some remarks.
Good morning. What a glorious day we have. I am so happy to see these fine new graduates. Do you know that you are beginning a wonderful journey of being the heroes in this city for so many young people? I remember when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, and the fire truck would come up the street. Oh my, we could hear it coming, and everyone ran out to run behind the fire truck. We didn't know anything about being safe. We just thought it was the most exciting thing. And you are going to be just that in someone else's eyes as you become superstars with the Winston-Salem Fire Department. I am speaking for my dear friend, John Larson, who is on the Public Safety Committee. He's not able to be with us this morning, but I know he would say, move forward with great energy, move forward knowing that you have the support of not just the leadership at the fire department, you have the support of the city council, because we're going to make sure that you have the equipment you need, the tools you need, and when times get difficult, the emotional and mental support you need. I just want to say to you, your job is really, really stressful and significant. Make sure you take time for your family also. The journey can be long, it can be hard, but family is everything. Family and friends will be there to support you, along with all the other citizens that you will touch. So I thank you, and I look forward to hearing that fire truck coming down the street, because I live on New Walkertown Road, and the fire truck down the street comes all the time. I'm very familiar with it now. But thank you again for completing this part of the course of being an extraordinary fire safety person, and I hope you will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Scipio. Are there any other elected officials present that would like to have remarks at this time? Moving forward. Now we'll have Chief Mayo come and introduce the keynote speaker, after which you will hear from the keynote speaker for today.
Good morning. I'll get straight here in a minute. We need some tabs up here to keep all this stuff straight. I want to give greetings to Mayor Joines and Council Members Burke, McIntosh, and Scipio. Thank you all for being here this morning. Judge Vickery, our city manager, Pat Pate, is here with us this morning, as our assistant city managers, Ben Rao and Sharon Voida. Special welcome to Sharon. This is her first time. She's just come on board, 3 weeks ago, and she has the responsibility of supporting the fire department. Always great to have all of you with us to support these recruits and their families for the sacrifices that they have made for the past 7 months. We have a couple of fire chiefs in the crowd this morning. Chief Gary Stiers is here from the Clemens Fire Department, as is Chief Jamie Ford from Old Richmond, and also joining us this morning down in the front row, the third row, is Chief Will Penn from the Winston-Salem Police Department. We appreciate you all joining us. Special thanks to first-time MC Desmond Teal, to Flo Gregory Phillips for rendering our national anthem, and to the Jamestown Pipes and Drums under the direction of Patrick Weirs. As always, we get great support from our marketing and communications department. You'll see them moving around throughout the ceremony this morning. And special thanks to the fire department's PIO, Miss Tabitha Childress, who makes all of the rest of us look like we know what we're doing. This is our first time in this venue, and for those of you who have joined us for these graduation ceremonies in the past, you will note that it is a little bit cozy in here this morning. So Ms. Childress has been working diligently for the past few months to make sure that we could get everything fit into what is a smaller than usual space for us, and came off as a success. So thanks for that. Well done, Class 34. Here we are, day we've been looking for since April, right? The Winston-Salem Fire Department is the 4th largest provider of healthcare services in Forsyth County. And we are, I need to run the numbers, but if we are not the busiest fire department in the state per capita, we are certainly in the top 2 or 3. We have hired you all, and you all have accepted the duty to come into this organization. We hire people that have the aptitude to be a nurse, a social worker, an engineer, and you've got to have that mental dexterity, but then you've got to be adventurous enough to jump out of an airplane. That kind of sums up the makeup of a firefighter. Everybody is not genetically programmed to do what you all do, and we certainly, the elected officials, folks from the manager's office, the citizens of Winston-Salem certainly recognize that particular genetic makeup that allows you all to do what you do. This morning we're celebrating the conclusion of 28 weeks of early mornings, long days, late nights, blood, sweat, tears, EMS clinicals, live fire evolutions, technical scope of practice exams, and those blasted Fire and Rescue Commission written tests. They haven't gotten any better. I've been in this business 35 years, and those tests are just as sorry today as they were 35 years ago. And it is unfortunately largely out of our control. But you made it, and to that I say congratulations. It's critical for all of you to realize that while our training program is solid, most of the training that you have endured so far has been under relatively well-controlled conditions. The real learning will commence Monday morning when you all start going on shift, and you see what actually happens in the street. And I told you back in April that we would revisit today 3 areas that will always need your attention. fire behavior, building construction, and physical fitness. If you look at the data, lack of acuity in one or more of those three things kills about 2/3 of the firefighters who die every year in this country on the fire ground. And unfortunately, after a 3 or 4 decade decline in fire deaths, civilian and firefighter, the lack of residential fire sprinkler codes, weakened building codes, an explosion in the use of engineered lightweight construction, and the proliferation of synthetic furnishings are driving an increase in both civilian and firefighter deaths in America. And those firefighters who die in the line of duty are almost always the victims of not understanding what the smoke in the building were telling them, or they were victims of a poor diet and lack of exercise. So always be sharp on fire behavior, building construction, and physical fitness. And never forget how an empty salt shaker leads to dead firefighters. It's my honor this morning to introduce today's speaker. Eric Gablix is currently serving as the acting Deputy U.S. Fire Administrator, and in that role, he is the highest-ranking non-presidentially appointed fire official in the country. You know, from our perspective, he is in effect the operations chief of the U.S. Fire Administration. The USFA is headquartered on the campus of the National Emergency Training Center in Emmitsburg, Maryland, and throughout its 50-year history, it has worked to reduce the number of civilians and firefighters who die in fires and supports America's 30,000 fire departments with data collection, research, training, and public education. Now, Gablix is quick to stress the acting part of his title, and he mixes it in with a few temporaries and short terms because what he really loves is his real job, which is being superintendent at the National Fire Academy, where he has served for the past 4 years. Annually, the NFA delivers on and off-campus training to 90,000 of America's emergency responders. He was appointed in the fall of 2020, and Gablix was instrumental in seeing that the NFA continued to play its critical role in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. And post-pandemic, he has done a remarkable job putting the right people in the right places, like my good friend, training specialist George Thomas, and has led a reimagining of various fire and emergency services training curriculums, including the benchmark managing officer and executive fire officer programs. Gablix's vision has seen the National Fire Academy become more relevant now than it has ever been, I think. Although he looks way younger, Gablix is a 42-year member of the U.S. Fire Service, first having joined the Adelphia Fire Company in New Jersey in 1982. Since those early days, he's gone on to serve with 4 volunteer combination and career fire agencies. In 1991, Gablix joined the Oregon Department of Public Safety Standards and Training and worked there nearly 30 years, including as agency director from 2010 to 2020. DPSST sets professional training and licensing standards for more than 41,000 public and private sector safety professionals in the state of Oregon and operates the Oregon Public Safety Academy. Gablix is the first employee in the agency's history to have ascended to the director's position from the internal ranks, and his tenure saw him serve under 3 governors. Gablix holds a bachelor's degree in fire service administration from Western Oregon University, had a master's degree in public policy and administration from Portland State. He's completed the Executive Fire Officer Program at the National Fire Academy and the Executive Development Institute at the FBI Academy. He has served and continues to serve on various state and national organizations, including 4 years as president of the North American Fire Training Directors Association, FEMA's Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program Advisory Committee, and Drexel University's Fire Injury Research and Safety Trends Advisory Committee. Gablix is a first-generation Latvian and speaks, reads, and writes the language. On top of that, he's just a great, humble, down-to-earth, nice guy. Mr. Deputy Administrator, welcome. We are so delighted that you found time in your schedule to join us this morning. When I asked him to come, he was still just the superintendent at the National Fire Academy, so he didn't know he was going to have this additional role that he was going to have to work around, but so glad to have you.
So good morning. How's everybody doing? Good. So honored to be with you this morning. I will start by saying I looked at the picture in the program and I looked at the person in the mirror today, and man, have I aged since I joined the federal government. But I still look younger than my younger brother, who looks much older, which he does not appreciate. I'll also share with you that this is the classiest graduation program I have ever seen. Okay, so whoever put this together, well done. And here's what I will say to all of you in the audience. You're here for a reason, which is one of these people in the front that's graduating today. Put this away somewhere, because this is a keepsake of a special day. This is, if you will, the starting point for the career of these women and men who are going to cross this stage today. So put this away somewhere, because this is a great thing to have. So I'm glad to be here today, glad to be with all of you. This is a special day, especially for these folks that are going to walk across the stage, but also for all of you in the stage who are here because you were here to support them, either as family or friends. It doesn't matter. You played a key role in the success of these folks. And as the chief mentioned, blood, sweat, and tears, lots of testing, lots of family events that they weren't able to be at with you because they were focusing on this great career that they want to be a part of. So you have also been part of the success. So I'm glad for the Cozy Room because the fire service is a family, but you are now part of the fire service family. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So next week, as you know, on November 11th, we will recognize and honor veterans through a holiday we call Veterans Day. We have countless veterans that continue to serve in the public safety community once they get out of the military. We also would be remiss if we not thank all of you who have worn the uniform of our nation's uniform, those of you who continue to serve in both the Guard and Reserve, and all of you who have members in the military currently, what we call military families. So thank you all for what you've done. And because of your sacrifices and your commitment to wear the uniform, we enjoy the freedoms that we have today. So thank you all. So there are a lot of similarities between the military and the fire service. You have probably noticed the rank structure, the uniforms, there's commendations, medals. Today, the graduates are going to receive their badge. So this is a rite of passage, if you will. They've done the work to be recognized and now be called a firefighter. But there are a lot of similarities. But the other thing to keep in mind is they are not soldiers, okay? These are community caretakers. These are community servants. These are first responders who will do many similar things to the military. They'll have the opportunity to be in special teams. They'll continue to be involved in training. They're going to be ready for what comes in every day that they go to work. And some of you may remember that old movie, Forrest Gump. Remember the line, life is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get until you open it. The fire rescue service is the same way. You go to work each and every day, but you don't know what's going to happen until that call comes in, and it could be anything, and we'll talk about that. So I was thinking this morning, what would I talk to you about as your graduation speaker? And I was thinking about these folks who have been waiting for this day, and what are they thinking about? They're thinking about how long it's going to take me to speak. They're thinking about why do I care what this person has to say. They also wonder who I am. So I know some of you have already Googled me because that's what we do today, and that's fine. And then they're also wondering, will they be out here in time to go to lunch with all of you? So I'll keep it short, but I'll keep it moving. So this is a graduation of a firefighter academy. But what I learned when I sat in the seats just like these folks did many, many, many moons ago, that I thought I was leaving the academy knowing what it meant to be a firefighter. I could not have been more wrong. I thought I was going to go to fires. I thought I was going to go to fires every day. Big fires, little fires, other fires, okay? And what I found out is that I went to fires every so often. But what I found out is that each and every day I was learning how to be better at my craft. What I found out is that I was not a firefighter, but really I was a problem solver. I was responding to people who needed help, regardless of what the situation was, regardless of what time of day it was, because they didn't know who else to call. They call 911, and we send the fire rescue service to help people. So the training starts in the academy. But really, the training started before the academy, because as a lot of you know, there's a testing process that these folks went through and that the folks that are in the wings went through to get to say yes, that I want to work for Winston-Salem Fire Rescue. That training is consistent, that training is constant, and every day is a training day. When I went to the fire station, I had an amazing coach that said, I'm going to teach you what it takes to be safe. I'm going to teach you what it takes to do this job, but I'm also going to teach you what fire service really is all about, which is all hazards, all risks, helping people in crisis. I learned how to do things that I never thought I would do. I thought I'd continue to go to firefighter classes, and I did, but I also went to rescue classes, tactics classes, building construction classes, as the chief mentioned, hazardous materials classes, and they even sent me to an explosive school, which I had some thoughts about why would I go, but because in the department I was at, we also handled incidents involving explosives, so eventually made sense. But the other thing that I was able to do is to go to the classes that I would call the soft skills, the people side of this business. Because what I found out within the first year is that I'm in the people business. Yes, I'm a firefighter. Yes, they expect me to go to emergencies and put out fires and handle all these other things that we get to do, but I'm in the people business. What I truly do each and every day is involve myself in the community, and I interact with the residents of our community who call us. So how do we talk to people who do not speak English? How do we have communications with people that we struggle to communicate with? How do we talk amongst ourselves in the fire station, right? So it's the people business. So I had the opportunity to go to a lot of those calls. And then before I left the fire service to go work for the federal government, also went to a lot of calls about interacting with people in crisis. We do have a mental health crisis in this country. We have a drug problem in this country. And who are the first responders interacting with these folks? The fire service. So taking all those different classes, it allowed to be more successful, but also to be safe as we interacted with people in need. So one of the things that I found out also was that the ad that brought me into the fire service was misleading. The ad had pictures of fires, big fires, and I said, that looks cool. I want to do that. The ad didn't have pictures of EMS or the cat in a tree or all the other things, which is where I spent a lot of my time. It didn't have a picture about smells and bells. That's alarms and odors. But it got me in the door, and I was excited to become part of the fire service. And what, again, I realized was that people called us because they didn't know who else to call. And we had an obligation to respond. And in fact, people were happy to see us. You heard the council member mention when the fire truck went down the street and she would chase it. We'll talk more about that, but people are excited to see us. They don't care what color the fire truck is. They don't care what's going on in your life. They don't care if you slept well the night before. They expect you, these graduates, and those coming behind, and those that went ahead, to be your best every day. Doesn't matter what the economic status is of the people. Doesn't matter if they live in a good neighborhood or bad neighborhood. They expect you to be your best every day and to help them with their problem. So I learned that attention to detail is a big part of this job. I was very fortunate because our fire station had a lot of members of the military that were in it. They were attention to detail oriented. They were training is every day until there's a call oriented. But they also taught me some things that allow the people that I worked with and the people that I serve have confidence in what we do. We would pull the trucks out of the fire station in the morning and check them. But before we did that, we checked ourselves from head to toe to make sure that we looked like professionals, that our uniforms were clean and pressed, that our boots were shined, and that we were ready to go. We also made sure that the community could see that we were checking the equipment, we were checking the saws, checking everything around the vehicle, because when something was going to happen, they knew we were prepared. We also each and every day checked the things that we relied on, our turnout gear, our firefighting equipment, our air packs, our radios, because those are the things that were going to protect us and also help save our lives when there was a dangerous situation. I asked somebody once, why do we spend so much time doing some of that stuff? Because it seemed like we just checked the truck the day before and the last shift. But the person said, when you fly on an airline, think about the experience that you had. You're sitting waiting for your plane. You probably saw the pilot walk around the plane before they got inside the plane, just making sure everything was shipshape. When you got on the plane, the door of the cockpit was open, and you could see both the pilot and the co-pilot, dressed in their uniform, going through their checklist to make sure everything was ready to go. They wouldn't close the door until the airplane was ready to take off. They did that so that the passengers that are going to fly on that plane knew that those two people in the front controlling that plane were competent, professional, and cared about the craft. They cared about the aircraft, they cared about the people, they cared about the mission, and they wanted to make sure that they got you and your family from point A to point B safely, along with the crew on that plane. So that's why we do what we do. Attention to detail so that the community knows that we're ready, but also so we know that we're ready. Just a few weeks ago, all of you know in this state the impact that Hurricane Helene and Milton had. We saw the fire service spring into action like they do every day. Not only the first responder community there that's affected, but also firefighters from the state went to cover those stations so that those men and women that were affected in the fire service could go take care of their families and help rebuild their homes and take care of things. We also brought in resources from around the country to help with technical search and rescue. We do that because that is what we do. We answer the call. I also would be remiss if I didn't share with you that during those two hurricanes, 4 firefighters died responding to those incidents. They were out there helping their community, and sadly, they did not come home at the end of the shift. 3 because they died from trees falling on them, and the last one died when there was a landslide where they were underneath it. So very sad events, but men and women out there taking care of the communities. So we do a lot of other things besides going to calls. We go to school programs. We go check smoke alarms. We go inspect businesses. Okay, we do that so that we can reduce those emergencies that we don't have to go to. We used to call it fire prevention, but today we call it community risk reduction. So what else do we do? Well, we do a lot of things on social media these days. And to the folks in this room that are graduating, I will tell you that social media could be the quickest mistake you make in this career. You may not like something that you've been involved in. You may not agree with a decision that's been made, but taking out your frustrations and anger by posting a hasty social media post could be a career ender for you. You also will see people that think that they know more about the fire service than others and want to bait you into debating back and forth about what your fire department does and why you did this. Don't engage in that. You have a public information officer that handles that for you. Even though it's your personal account, people know that you're a member of the fire service. Your neighbors know, your community knows, your family knows. But how do your neighbors know? Well, it's easy. They see you wearing a uniform. They know that you are now a member of the fire service. You may have told them. But they also know that you might have the sticker on your truck and the license plate that says that you're a firefighter. We're the only profession that loves telling everybody what we do. Okay? You don't see plumbers wearing t-shirts when they're not working, okay? You don't see carpenters wearing t-shirts when they're not working. Firefighters wear t-shirts when they're not working. In fact, firefighters buy t-shirts from other fire departments so they can wear them, okay? So it is an interesting culture, but it's because we care. But because of that distinguished role that you have now, you're always on stage. You live in that proverbial glass bubble. So think about your actions. So that could be that you're driving fast in your neighborhood, different things that you'll do. People are watching. You are now a member of the public safety team in your neighborhood, knows, your community knows, and we're watching you. You also will do other things that most other people don't do. You will respond to incidents where the people have no food in their cupboard. You'll respond to a call on the street in the wintertime where the person doesn't have a coat. You're going to go to somebody's house that doesn't have a smoke detector. You will go back, talk to your crew, probably pitch money in and go buy food for these people and make sure that they have a meal to eat. You'll pitch in and buy a coat for that individual and go back and give it to them. It may be even little things like gloves and socks, things that people don't have. Also, sadly, around Christmas time, a number of times I went to incidents where people had a fire just a few days before Christmas and their gifts were burned up. Not uncommon for the crews that I was with that we would go buy gifts, wrap them, and take them to the family so that they can have a Christmas. Why do we do it? Because it's who we are. We care, we have a heart, but we also know that we have a roof over our heads. We have a salary. We have health benefits. We have food in our refrigerator, and others don't. So not only do we respond to calls, but we are community caretakers, and that's something you can never take for granted. So the chief mentioned the changes that we've made in the fire service, especially in the safety and health arena. We're in a much different place today. We have more science and data and research than ever before about what firefighters do. We know the impacts that it has on us individually, on our heart, on our mental health. We also know how buildings are built. We know now that new buildings burn faster and hotter than old buildings. We know that those gases produced have devastating impacts on us, but we use all that information to make better decisions. We do that through policy procedure, we do it by how we respond, and we do it in how we train. So again, those of you coming into the fire service, every day is a training day. Be active, be aware, and never stop learning. In the old days, a firefighter that had a helmet that was full of soot was seen as a gladiator, as an amazing firefighter, as a superhero. And what we know now is all that soot that they carried on their helmets was cancer. It was the byproducts of fire, which contains toxic byproducts of fire that is cancerous to us. So we're in a different place now. That's no longer cool. That's not in. A clean helmet is a cool helmet. Cleaning your gear off at the scene is where we are. Cleaning your gear when you get back to station is where we are. Ongoing physicals is where we are. We have learned a lot. This fire department is one of the most progressive in the countries and is constantly sending people to state, regional, and national conferences to find out what's going on and to bring it back and put into action. So when you're at the station and you see that memo come out from the chief's office or the safety chief or the training chief, read it. Don't just say it's another memo from headquarters. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't been in the scene for years. They do know what's going on. They know that their job is to make sure they're taking care of you. And by them taking care of you, the family members know that they're working in a profession that cares. You will see and experience things that are good and bad. You will deliver babies. I've delivered 4, okay? Also delivered a goat. That was not as exciting, but still kind of cool. I've also been in a house not too long ago where, believe it or not, we went on a medical call, and the house was so old it still had dirt floors in it. And this was about 10 years ago. We're also going to go to crashes. We're going to go to, obviously, fires, but we're going to go to a lot of medical calls. Each of those has an impact on you as the responder. Some of those good, but some of those not so good. What I ask you to do is don't go home and share the not so good with your family. Go back to your fire station and have that discussion with your crew at the coffee table about what you saw and how you feel. And if you're struggling with what you saw, it's okay to say you're not okay. We are in a different place now in this fire service where we will send you and get you help. There's peer support, there's culturally competent clinicians, but it is okay to say you're not okay. You can go back and tell your family you delivered a baby. I definitely told my family I delivered a goat, but it's a pretty cool place to be. So let's try to wrap this up. We can do amazing work, and we do amazing work, but we have to follow the rules. We have seen firefighters argue that they shouldn't wear seatbelts because they can get out of the fire engine quicker when they get to the scene. We have seen firefighters say that that's not really a big call, I don't need an air pack. That equipment is part of that vehicle. That's part of your training for a reason, because that equipment, those devices will save your life, okay? Cleaning your gear will save your life. One of the things that the chief mentioned is America's fire problem. We still have a fire problem in the United States. We are the most advanced country in the world, but we are still seeing more than 2,500 civilians die of fire every year. Many of them live in occupancies that don't meet fire codes. Many of them were never meant to be occupancies where people would live. Many do not have smoke alarms. Many do not have working smoke alarms. So when you go out on a call, take a look at those other things. Check the smoke detector when you're on a call to see if it works, and if not, bring back a battery. So in closing, thank you all for answering the call. Much like the military, we are all looking for a few good men and women to serve, okay? You have answered the call. Today is the highlight of your training program. You'll receive your badge. It's a day to celebrate, but each and every day is a training day. And to the families and friends that are in this room, keep in mind that they are a firefighter, EMT, but this is what they do, not who they are, okay? So if they start thinking that they're a firefighter 24 hours a day, and what I mean by that, they're never off duty when they are off duty, find something else for them to do, okay? They need to have work-life balance or life-work balance, and you need to help us make sure that that happens, okay? So we're all in this together, so thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting them, and thank you for asking me to share a few words with you this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you for those inspiring words. Each graduate seated here before successfully completed over 1,200 hours of training and testing to reach this moment. Recruit Coordinator Norris White will now provide an overview of what it takes to become a Winston-Salem firefighter, as well as ordering the retiring of the guidon. Engineer White.
Good morning. I am Recruit Coordinator White, and I have been with Class 34 since their journey with the Winston-Salem Fire Department began and throughout their training process. These 21 individuals completed a multitude of tasks to earn the right to wear the badge. Over 28 weeks, they were forged into firefighters, learning everything from how to dress a wound, deliver a baby, and being able to self-rescue from a burning building. The first task that was set before them was 2 weeks of orientation to the city and fire department, where they met key figures of the city and the fire department command staff. Their second task was to acquire their EMT certification, which consisted of airway management, shock, general pharmacology, anatomy, and many other subjects. There were 10 exams taken during this time, along with a class final exam and state exam. This block of instruction lasted for 7 weeks. The third task was to obtain their firefighter certification, which would test the class not only in their mental capacity, but their physical limits as well. This block of instruction would last for 17 weeks. The classes set before them included technical rescuer, firefighter health and safety, forcible entry, fire behavior, water supplies, fire control, RIC, Mayday, and probably their favorite, the ladder block, along with many more. There were 20 exams taken during this time, which were all state exams, meaning they had to pass them to continue on. During this 28-week span of time, they also endured 2 PT sessions every single week. This culminated in over 1,200 hours of instruction. Out of the 21, there were 6 that were a bit different than the rest. These 6 came to us fully certified, having obtained their certifications to become firefighters outside of our rookie school. Some came from other cities, while others were just beginning their firefighting career. These 6 earned the right to wear the badge in just a month's time. 2 weeks of orientation, followed by 2 weeks of a condensed gauntlet of all the skills performed by a firefighter. The flag that you see with Class 34 is called the guidon. It is carried with them everywhere to signify that this is where the class shall meet and is in session. The flag was not given to them, it was earned by their hard work and dedication to not only becoming firefighters, but to each other. They had to display teamwork and the willingness to push past their limits. At any time, the flag could be taken away if the class was not on track or began to waver. The flag is a great sense of pride for the class, as it serves not only as the rallying point, but also as a beacon to all that Class 34 is here and are becoming firefighters. Before we retire the guidon, I would just like to say I was fortunate to meet each and every one of them as they completed their physical ability tests as well as their interviews before being chosen for this class. Each one of them shined in their own special way, showing the characteristics of a firefighter. I saw this class grow and learn things that could not be taught from textbook, from overcoming fears of heights, confined spaces, and even the fear of failure. They reached for the dream of becoming firefighters with courage, bravery, and honor. I am proud to say each one of them earned the right to wear the badge they are about to be bestowed. Chief Mayo, city dignitaries, citizens of Winston-Salem, Class 34 is ready to report to duty. Thank you, and we will now retire the guidon.
Thank you, Engineer White. We will now proceed with the presentation of awards, starting with Battalion Chief Edward Duffield, who will present the Outstanding Teammate Award.
Good morning and welcome from the training branch. As we prepare to present the Recruit Class Awards, I ask them to reflect on a powerful symbol of the fire service, the cross we wear on our uniforms. What we often refer to as the Maltese Cross is actually St. Florian's Cross. The fire service over the years has assigned meaning to each of the 8 points of the cross, and I will relate each to what you have recently been through and the adventure on which you embark next week. Point number 1, discretion, the importance of wisdom and judgment. You use this in deciding to study many nights for the last 6 months rather than enjoying your nights at home. In the future, you'll exercise discretion by being thoughtful as you care for our citizens. Treat them with respect, regardless of their circumstances. Point number 2, loyalty, steadfast commitment to those we serve and your brother and sister firefighters. You lifted each other up during class to reach this point. There will be many opportunities to do this again as you progress in your career. Number 3, mental dexterity, agility, and sharpness of mind. You have learned, memorized, and studied countless facts and passed all the requisite tests. 5 nights from now at 3 in the morning, you may need to determine the correct dose of epi for your patient. Are you ready? Attentiveness, the importance of being vigilant and observant. You have watched hundreds of skill demonstrations, absorbed the details, and learned to perform those skills successfully. As you walk up to the threshold when you're second due, get the kinks out of the hose. Compassion, empathy, and kindness to others. You've helped fellow members of Class 34 succeed by helping them through some difficult times. You will have that opportunity hundreds of times in your career as you see people experiencing their worst day. Thoroughness, dedication to completeness and accuracy. You've completed 100 forms and 1,000 tests accurately or so it seems. As you perform critical skills at the scene of fires, ensure that you're just as thorough in everything you do. Perseverance, a determination and endurance to persist no matter the challenge. You've persevered for 6 months through mental, physical, and emotional challenges. Now, we need you to persevere to make that push with the line down the hallway to the last room. Gallantry, meaning bravery and valor. In 1908, FDNY Chief Edward Croker said, "When you become a firefighter, your greatest act of bravery has been accomplished." When you become a firefighter, your greatest act of bravery has been accomplished. Firefighters, what you do after that is all in the line of work. Firefighters do not regard themselves as heroes because they do what the business requires. That's what Chief Croker said. So your one brave act is now accomplished. Now do your job and do it well. Class 34 exemplifies these characteristics, and with that, I'm pleased to present the Teammate Award as voted on by the class members themselves to Nathan Kish. Congratulations. Hold that.
Thank you, Chief Duffield. Next, we will hear from Councilmember Barbara Haynes Burke, Northeast Ward, who will present the Vivian H. Burke Character Award.
Good morning, everyone. Congratulations to Fire Recruit Class 34. I want to say thank you to each of you for making the brave and selfless decision to become a firefighter and to serve our community and our citizens. Now, it is my pleasure to present the Vivian H. Burke Character Award. The dictionary defines character as those attributes and ethical traits that distinguish a person. In essence, character is revealed by what a person does, even when or especially when no one is looking. The Vivian H. Burke Character Award is named for the late council member and Mayor Pro Tem Vivian H. Burke, my mother-in-law, who served on the city council for 43 years and was the longest serving chair of the Public Safety Committee. This award is given to the recruit in each police and fire recruit training class who has best exhibited the qualities of integrity, ethical behavior, and team-building ability that demonstrate the strength of their character. The Vivian H. Burke Character Award goes to Ty Anderson. Congratulations.
Thank you, Councilmember Burke. Finally, the chief of this great city, Trey Mayo, will come and present the Fire Chief Award.
Chiefs Award is presented to the class valedictorian, and attaining such a high academic standard is no small feat. I remember my time in the Fire Academy, and as I mentioned in my opening, it's early mornings, it's long days, it's late nights, it's weekend assignments, it's a grueling 28 weeks. For most of these people, it's 28 weeks of instruction in topics that are completely foreign. The Fire Academy is not an extension of high school. When you graduate from high school and you go to college, well, you learn math in high school, they teach math in college. You learned English in high school, they teach English in college. They don't teach in most high school curriculums and very few college curriculums, they don't teach fire behavior or building construction or the concept of a flow path or forcible entry techniques or any number of the subjects that you heard Engineer White talk about. This stuff for a lot of these people, a lot of these new recruits, soon to be new firefighters, is just something that they'd never been exposed to before. So it took a lot of sacrifice and dedication. And they learn these things while weaving in time to eat, sleep, and spend time with friends and family. If they weren't preparing for an EMT exam, they were practicing tying knots in the dark or rehearsing the steps to share their breathing air with an incapacitated crewmate. These are skills that have to be mastered at the level of unconscious competence and performed under conditions that are more stressful than most people can imagine. So, congratulations to valedictorian and recipient of the Chiefs Award for Class 34, Austin Chris.
Thank you, Chief Mayo. Let's give the recipients another round of applause. Now we will hear from the class spokesman who will share their experiences as they became a Winston-Salem firefighter. Please welcome the spokesperson for Class 34, Alfred Fisher.
Morning, everyone. Sorry. I learned something very quickly about my classmates, and it was easily my favorite part of the whole academy. And that's that we're all super, super competitive. When we first started, right from the jump in EMT school, we took our first test, we came back to the classroom, and we didn't even really know each other, but already people were talking smack and say, I got this, I beat you by that much. And that continued for 7 months, all these tests we took in EMT and fire school. I think the valedictorian's award, there was like 3 people right there. It was only split by 1 or 2%. So some people were really in the running for that. Congratulations to Austin. And this competition really amped up when we added the physical part in the drill grounds. There was one day where Squad 2 was set as the standard, and that really, without being corny, that lit a fire under the rest of us. And, every day we'd come in and say, all right, guys, we're going to be the standard today, or this afternoon we're going to be the standard. And that brought a lot out of us, and I enjoyed the entire competition of this academy. To our friends and family, you're the reason we chose to pursue this noble career, and you're absolutely the reason that we made it through and persevered through this 7th-month journey. To our instructors, when we saw the passion that you guys had about your field and your career, that inspired us to want to be great, and it helped us overcome our fears, like Engineer White said, fears of heights, confined spaces, and letting one another down. As we move on to the field, we will continue to build on the skills taught to us, and we'll do our best to make you proud. And real quick, guys, before we get out of here, I know you're not going to have 20 people to compete with anymore, but you can always compete with yourself. Be better than you were last month. Be better than you were last week. Be better than you were last shift. Thank you.
That was well said. We will now have our Honorable Judge Carrie F. Vickery administer oath to Class 34.
Good morning. I'm Carrie Vickery. I'm a judge here in Forsyth County. Thank you, Chief Mayo, for the opportunity to be part of this special occasion today, and congratulations to Class 34 on your dedication and hard work that's brought you here. And so with that being said, I am delighted to administer your oath today. If you will begin by standing, please, and raising your right hands. Thank you. If you'll raise your right hands, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
Todd Anderson. Nyquan Cousins. Christopher Brown. Tyler Edwards. Al Fisher. Ray Ford. Alan Garcia Hernandez. Anthony Graham. Travis Jennings. Nick McKish. Austin Chris. Joanne Lynn. Tyler Patrick. Jesus Salazar. Rogelio Sanchez. Ricardo Shearer. David Sixes. Charles Wilson. Joey Williams. Michael Wolford.
Do hereby declare that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of North Carolina, and the laws and ordinances of the City of Winston-Salem. I pledge to faithfully serve the City of Winston-Salem and its citizens with integrity, courage, and compassion. I will honor the Firefighter Code of Ethics by maintaining the highest standards of personal and professional conduct. I vow to respect the trust placed in me by the community and my fellow firefighters, ensuring my actions are guided by honesty and accountability. In the performance of my duties, I will demonstrate respect, empathy, and kindness to all individuals without prejudice or discrimination. I swear as a firefighter for the City of Winston-Salem to uphold these principles and to dedicate myself to the safety and well-being of the community I serve. Congratulations.
Thank you, Honorable Judge Vickery. We will now present our newest firefighters with their badges and certificates. It is a tradition that we call their names. They come forward to be congratulated by the dignitaries on stage and receive their badge. Each graduate has designated someone special to share the honor of pinning their badge for the first time. If you have been selected for this honor, please move to the right side of the room, my left, and wait for your graduate to come down from the stage. Then join your graduate at the photo wall to pin their badge. The badges and certificates will be presented by Chief Mayo and Chief of Logistics, Daryl Sawyer. Ty Anderson. Naquan Cousins. Christopher Drong. Kaylee Edwards. Alfred Fisher. Braden Four. Alan Garcia Hernandez. Esther Graham. Travis Jennings. Nathan Kish. Austin Chris. Tremaine Lindsay. Tyler Patrick. Jesus Salazar. Rogelio Sanchez Castillo. Ricardo Shaver. Fabian Setos. Travis Vogler. Noah Williams. Michael Wolford. Let's give our graduates a well-deserved round of applause. Class 34, remember that your badge you now wear represents more than just your training. It embodies your commitment and integrity. Let your actions reflect the honor of the badge and always strive to uphold its shiny reputation. Avoid any action that can tarnish what you have worked so hard to achieve. Congratulations and carry honor with pride. To our audience, thank you for joining us. This concludes our program for today. You're invited to join us in the reception hall to the left. You're right. Thank you.